I was never influenced by mainstream cinema. Even growing up, I loved Ram Gopal Verma and Anurag Kashyap, later Zoya, of course, Zoya Akhtar and Vikram Motwane and all these filmmakers. I could never connect to the larger than life hero for some reason. I loved watching Amir Khan. I remember Tare Zameen Par had a big effect on me. When I watched it. It was also the first time that I copied an actor when I got the mohawk. But yeah, I think later on Amir Khan, Irfan, Nawazuddin Siddiqui, Manoj Bajpayee, Rajpal Yadav, KK Menon, Jimmy Shergill, a lot of these actors heavily inspired me. Yeah, I enjoy watching them a lot. Completely. It changed my life. It gave me a new lease of life as an actor. Made me get access with the kind of producers, filmmakers, writers probably didn't know about me. But when I worked with Priyanka and Raj, I realized that you can still be a good person and be a great artist. I'm just so fortunate to have worked with her and I got to know her in a personal capacity as well. I'm very privileged to call them my colleagues and to some extent my friends as well. I'm just really, really lucky. It was just such a privilege to know her because we all know her as an incredible actor, but to sort of be around her on a set and to see how she treats the people who work with her, her staff, the assistants, it's so humbling. And she's so grounded. You see why she's so successful. I think Siddhant and Ananya are the loveliest people. They're great actors, great co-actors themselves, and in spite of being fairly sort of accomplished big brands, I feel like they're both very humble, very grounded, very rooted, very clear about what they want to do.
Hello everyone, I'm Rashita Sahni and you're watching me on Bollywood Bubble. Now joining me for a super interesting conversation today is Adarsh Gourav, who's currently busy making his mark in the film industry, one project at a time. Hi Adarsh, how have you been?
I've been very nice, Rashida. Thank you for having me.
I watched Guns and Gulaabs, the first 4 episodes, and what was going on in my mind while watching it was you fit into the character very perfectly, something I'm sure a lot of us wouldn't have expected from you. And I also read recently you said somewhere that, finally I got a powerful character, a powerful role to play. How did it feel like?
Yeah, it's nice to have an upper status in the story where not just talking about in terms of wealth, but even in terms of the respect that he gets from people around him. So it was nice to play a gangster where you're sitting on the backseat of the car instead of driving it, and you're wearing all these cool sort of jackets with fur on them, and you have people to do things for you on your command. So it's a very different feeling than all the other characters that I've had the chance to play so far. And yeah, my idea was just to have fun with it, and Raj and DK were kind enough to sort of let me fly with it.
You of course play Satish Kaushik's son in the show, and unfortunately he's not there with us today. But for someone who has worked for so long, I've only heard good things about him from people who have worked with him. Firstly, it would have been an honor to share screen space with him, and you closely worked with him. Was there any acting skill or tip that he shared with you or anything?
No, I think just his ability to keep the whole room entertained. He's just a fantastic storyteller. We all know him as a great actor, director, writer, but it's just him as a human being and him regaling us with stories from his past. And he always has so many stories to share and fun anecdotes of how things were back in the day when he started out as an assistant director to big directors, and then his transition to becoming a director and him acting and stuff, and even his stories of how Bombay used to be 40 years ago. I'm very fascinated by that. I'm fascinated by Bombay from the 70s and the 80s, and he has so many stories that he would tell me about Yari Road from back in the day and all these places that we know now that used to look so different back in the day. And I think just his forever inquisitiveness about life and his curiosity to know about people and about stuff. He would always ask me what I was watching and what I'm interested in. I think that's what made him so relevant and so fresh. In spite of him being around forever, we still wanted more of him always. So it's just his innate curiosity for things and his sort of almost childlike sort of fascination with everything that makes him so special.
Yeah. I also felt like a role reversal to watch you and Rajkumar in this one than the White Tiger, because I was like, oh, how the tables have turned.
How the turntables have, yes.
But how is the transition for you too?
Oh, so liberating, I can't tell you. It was so nice to, play the gangster for a change and be the boss and wear all the nice clothes and to feel powerful
Yeah.
more than anything. It was very, very liberating. थोड़ा मार खा के थक गया था मैं भी. It was nice. It's really nice.
Perfect. But in a way, I remember when the White Tiger released, it changed a lot of things especially for you, because Priyanka, Rajkumar were already way established actors, especially Priyanka. Do you think it sort of changed the way filmmakers and a lot of people looked at you?
Completely. It changed my life. It gave me a new lease of life as an actor. Made me get access with the kind of producers, filmmakers, writers that probably didn't know about me. And I'm so thankful to Ramin for making that film and for placing faith in me to play Balram, which could have gone to any established actor, quite frankly. But he took that leap of faith and he placed that sort of trust in me to be able to pull it off. And I genuinely feel that it's changed my life in ways I had never anticipated would happen this fast. I was always prepared to be in this for the long run, and I love acting and I love storytelling, and I would, if not be an actor, be involved in some capacity or the other. But to sort of get a big break like that, and then to sort of get to work with directors like Reema, like Arjun, and to sort of again act with Rajkumar, with Dulkar, to work with Rajan DK, and all this is genuinely, I feel, completely due to White Tiger, and I'm so thankful to that film.
I slightly disagree with the point where you said it could have been, given to someone who's more established, because I feel there was this rawness, this newness that you got. Also, a lot of people didn't know you before White Tiger. So you fit the character because it was a role like that. If I think we got in someone who we already knew, I think the relatability factor would have gone down a little.
Possibly.
But it's been every actor's dream to work with Priyanka Chopra. Like, I have heard people who have been in the industry for 10, 15, 20 years also say that we have still not gotten the opportunity to share screen space with her and to actually have a very powerful role in a film like The White Tiger. How liberating did that feel at such an early stage in your career?
Yeah, she's amazing, and we actually come from the same hometown as well. She was born in Jamshedpur, and I grew up there. And it was just such a privilege to know her, because we all know her as an incredible actor, but to sort of be around her on a set and to see how she treats people and treats the people who work with her, her staff, the assistants, it's so humbling, and she's so grounded, and you see why she's so successful. While growing up, I used to read up about a lot of artists who were like kind of these great artists, but not necessarily great people. But when I worked with Priyanka and Raj, I realized that you can still be a good person and be a great artist. And I'm just so fortunate to have worked with her, and I got to know her in a personal capacity as well. I'm very privileged to call them my colleagues, and to some extent my friends as well. I'm just really, really lucky.
Amazing. But a lot of people have been excited for, your film with Siddhant and Ananya.
Yeah.
And recently a picture was put up from the special screening, I assume, and people were very excited to watch the three of you. This trio also feels very different because it sort of takes us back to the 90s where three people starred in a movie, and they were friends. I don't know the storyline yet, but we are looking forward to it. How was your time with them?
It was absolutely delicious. I think Siddhant and Ananya are the loveliest people. They're great actors, great co-actors, but also just great energy as human beings. Again, like, fantastic with the people they work with, the way they handle themselves, and like, in spite of being like fairly sort of accomplished big brands, I feel like they're both very humble, very grounded, very rooted, very clear about what they want to do. And it was just so much fun to work with them, and over the couple of years that we've spent time with each other, we've become good friends, and I genuinely hope that the film connects with people, and they have as much fun as we did while filming it. And it's a friendship drama. It's a very modern story. It's unlike a character that I've done so far. Presents a very different side of me as an actor, and very excited to see what happens in the film.
Lovely. But, Adarsh, when I talk about your journey and the kind of roles you select, it's often said, and I personally feel this, that you are associated with quality cinema. Like, I know if your name's associated with a project, there will be something to watch out for. And very rare do we get such actors. And you have that, vibe in you that sort of gives us that, okay, he will pick something that's good to see. Does that also put any extra pressure on your shoulders, because then we only expect the good work from you?
I don't know about pressure, honestly, I'm just here to, I'm here for very selfish reasons. I'm here to do exactly the kind of work that I want to. I work only for myself. When I think of a film or when I choose a script to work on, I think a lot about it because not only do I now end up shooting for like 2.5, 3 months, which earlier used to be 10 days or 12 days, but now, since I'm playing more central characters, so I spend a lot more time on set, but I also spend equal or more time prepping for it.
Yeah.
So when I'm spending 5 months with a show or a film, I have to make sure that it's something that I absolutely enjoy. And so I need to love the director, I need to love the story, I need to love the writing. And yeah, I'm in no rush, like I really want to live my life, enjoy my life, spend time with my family, and also be able to tell stories that really connect with me, that are powerful and that shift something within me. Because I know that if I get affected by something, people will get affected by it when they watch it. Because I have lived a very middle class life all my life, and I represent what today's India is. So I know that if I enjoy it, people will.
But where did the courage or sort of, the inspiration come in you? Because you don't belong to a family that was associated with the film industry.
Yeah, not at all.
And won't use the word outsider. I don't agree to that term at all. Neither do I agree to this term called nepotism, because I feel if my father was a well-established journalist, I would have probably joined him. So I think everyone has their own journey. But I'm sure the struggles are much more when you are not in contact or in touch with anyone from the film industry.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even want to be an actor, call myself an accidental actor.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a musician. And I started prioritizing actor much later in life, only when I turned probably 21 or 22, even though I've been working since I was 14. Also, I never saw my initial years as a struggle really, because I was lucky enough for my mom to be paying rent for me. So most actors who come from outside of Mumbai have to first sort out their rent and have to first figure out how they're going to pay that 20,000 as rent and then be able to survive. So their motivation only becomes money. कि पैसे के लिए काम करना है भाई, रेंट पे करनी है. I never had that pressure on me, So my focus was always just on telling good stories and doing quality work. And for the longest time, as I said, because I didn't want to be an actor, I was pursuing music simultaneously. So by the time I decided that I wanted to take up acting seriously, I had already auditioned and done enough ads for casting directors to know me. So my initial struggle, as you would term it, went in my childhood. When you don't really see struggle as a struggle, you see it more as a hobby hai kar raha hu side pe.
Yeah.
It never sort of felt like something that was really hard to do, luckily.
But even after or during My Name is Khan, you didn't feel like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to be in front of the camera.
No. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Also, it felt so far away, Even though I was part of it, it still felt very far away. And also, I was never influenced by mainstream cinema, let alone cinema. I was never influenced by mainstream cinema. Even growing up, I loved Ram Gopal Verma and Anurag Kashyap, and later Zoya Akhtar and Vikram Motwane and all these filmmakers. I could never connect to the larger than life hero for some reason. Also because larger than life heroes were maybe mostly very good looking people, stereotypically, like, tall, handsome men, and I was just like, I don't connect with that really. And I always connected with the Aam Aadmi more. So yeah, acting I started taking it seriously only after I worked with Anurag Kashyap on a short film in 2015. It's called Clean Shaven, never released, but I worked on that, and then I did Rukh with Manoj Bajpayee. And then both of them said that you should, you have some potential, so why don't you go train as an actor? And then while I was in drama school is when I was like, no, this is what I enjoy doing the most.
You know, Adarsh, I've heard a lot of people who are now actors say that when we were growing up, and I did ask this to Rajkumar, Gulshan Dulkar, everyone, that who was your inspiration when you were growing up? You know, one 90s actor, since Guns and Gulaabs is also an ode to retro Bollywood. And everyone had, they named Govinda, Shah Rukh Khan, and actors who we just spoke about, but there is another league today. We have league of actors that are more relatable, that we can watch and we feel that, they are just like us, like the Aam Janta you just mentioned. So how was it for you growing up? You mentioned about filmmakers for sure, but who was that one actor you related to the most?
I didn't watch cinema when I was growing up. I watched cartoons and I watched a lot of WWF.
Yeah.
So growing up for me, I was most inspired by Kane and Stone Cold Steve Austin. They were my
Wow.
inspirations, frankly. Because and I grew up watching Roadrunner and Courage the Cowardly Dog. I was born in '94. I saw about 6 years of the '90s. I wasn't interested in cinema at all. I wouldn't watch television. Probably 1 hour of TV, and I would play most of the time. Like I used to play a lot of cricket. तो सिनेमा से कोई लेना देना नहीं था, कोई अटैचमेंट ही नहीं था. My first film that I saw in the theatre was Kaante. But there was no hero or actor as such that I was inspired specifically by. But yeah, once I grew up a little bit, I loved watching Amir Khan. I remember Tare Zameen Par had a big effect on me when I watched it, and it was also the first time that I copied an actor when I got the mohawk. Before that, I never wanted to dress up like somebody or look like somebody. But when I saw Tare Zameen Par, I said I want to be like that man, and I got a mohawk. But yeah, I think later on Amir Khan, Irfan, Nawazuddin Siddiqui, Manoj Bajpayee, Rajpal Yadav, KK Menon, Jimmy Shergill, a lot of these actors heavily inspired me. Yeah, I enjoy watching them a lot.
Amazing. But, today it's very convenient sort of to be a lot of things together. Like I see actors are also musicians today. They are also directing, they're also producing. Now you are a trained singer yourself.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel that maybe acting did cover up that space in your life where you couldn't do more of singing, and now I hear you are coming back with 2 singles this year?
Yeah.
So how does the managing part have with acting and your music career?
Music is something that Riyaz is just part of me. Like since the time I've been 4.5 or 5, I've been training in classical, and even after I stopped learning classical, I still do my Riyaz every day. I think just the sound of the Tanpura just soothes me. It's very meditative for me to listen to the Tanpura and then to do my Alankars on it. So yeah, it's always coexisted with my acting, and I will always find a time for it. And as you said, I have some music coming out this year, and yeah, I'm very excited to put it out. And first to record it, of course, I haven't recorded it. It's something that still in the initial stages, but yeah, I mean, it will always exist, and I hope that I can continue to grow with it and to write more music and to make it part of my shows or films, and someday maybe sing for myself too, who knows.
Yeah, amazing. But when you talk about today's actors, there are so many new young people coming up, and they are so talented.
Yeah.
I feel the competition has increased to a level where there has to be some insecurity coming in. When I speak to young people, young actors, they do mention that, yeah, sometimes we get scared because there is so much competition around. How do you deal with that?
No, I feel actors in general are just we're all insecure. We're just as people, I feel like there is a certain degree of insecurity that you just have when you decide to be an actor. But it's good, I feel, because it helps you sort of work on yourself. I'm also insecure, but it helps me continuously work on myself, to build my skill sets, to learn new things. And I just want to be ready for any kind of challenge or any role that comes my way. When I see the biggest success stories, when I read about them or whatever, of course luck plays a big part in it, but I also feel that it's your readiness to sort of hit the hammer on the nail when the time is right, when it comes for you. So yeah, I feel like insecurity is a positive thing if it's used well, and that's what I sort of look at it as.
As an actor, what kind of roles excite you the most today? Also, do you, when you are selecting something, is it the script, the person who's making it, the filmmaker,
Yeah.
or your particular role that you look at the most?
Mostly the script, of course, also like my role that I'm doing, and the filmmaker. I think all these three things are extremely crucial, because a good filmmaker will do wonders with an average script, likewise, like, vice versa. So I feel all three of them are very important, but I'm not looking, it's not like I'm looking at something specific. I think a lot of it also has to do with my mental space and where I'm at in life right now. So right now I feel like I'm at a place where I want to do something comedic.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for something that's funny.
Okay.
Maybe next year I'll be in a space where I want to do something which is, I don't know, maybe play a military officer, because that's what I'm inspired by. So I think it completely depends on the kind of information that I'm consuming at that point in time.
You know, there has a lot been spoken about the masala, the typical masala entertainers that we have in the film industry in Bollywood, as they say. And then there is quality content that I mentioned about. People sometimes, I even heard Rajkumar say it, that, when you're associated with the quality part, the quality content part, people start assuming you will never be a part of this masala entertainer industry that's been going on for years and years, like a typical Rohit Shetty film for that matter. How do you see yourself placed here? Do you see these boxes, or will you just pick up anything that you relate to?
Yeah, it's really that. It's really what the kind of story that I want to tell at that point in time. Masala, not masala, or like indie, doesn't really matter. I should just make enough money to run my house, and I have fairly basic needs as a human. I just want to travel a lot, live life, spend time with my family, and be surrounded by animals. And yeah, I think just life's too short to be thinking about these things too intensely, and just want to be able to tell stories that I want to.
Lovely. On that note, thank you so much, Adarsh, for
Thank you.
joining us at Bollywood Bubble. It was a very pleasant conversation.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Adarsh Gourav, and you're watching me on Bollywood Bubble. And please watch our show Guns and Gulaabs only on Netflix on the 18th of August.